Hello friends, welcome back. Let us now quickly understand what dividends are. What are the different types of dividends in the industry, and what factors affect dividends? The session basically gives you an overall view about how dividends are declared in the industry. First, what is a dividend? A dividend is a portion of the profit, which is distributed to the shareholders. Let me give you a simple example. A company makes $100 million profit, out of which the company thinks that it needs around $20 million for future expansion. The company will keep $20 million in the business and will distribute $80 million to the shareholders. Of the profit, the company may distribute part of the profit to the shareholders, which is called the dividend. Dividend payments are generally cash payments, which hit our bank account and depend on how many shares we are holding. Let us say that the dividend is declared per share business. Let's say you own Apple shares and the company declares a dividend of $10 per share. A person who owns 10 shares will get $10 into 10, which will be $100 as compared with a person who owns 1 share and will only get $10. It depends on how many shares you are holding. A few important things. Declaration date. What is a declaration date? A declaration date is basically a date on which the board of directors declares dividends. The board should declare the amount of dividend to be paid and the amount of dividend the company intends to declare. On the date of declaration, the board of directors declares the amount of dividend, which is to be paid and when it should be paid. Usually, the dividends are declared after the board meeting. Record date. Let us say that the board of directors declares that it is going to pay dividends. However, if it is a listed company, the shares keep on changing. People are going to buy and sell the shares. Therefore, to declare a dividend, the company needs to fix a date called the record date, based on which anyone who is a shareholder gets a dividend. Let us say that a company declares that it will pay the dividend on the 30th of June, which is a record date. In other words, 30th of June is the cut-off time. All shareholders will get the dividends on the 30th of June. Let us say that we buy and sell shares on the 1st of August or on the 1st of July. When we buy shares on the 1st of July, we will not be eligible for the dividend. However, the record date is very important. You should be a shareholder in the rest of the company on the record date. Payment date. Payment date is basically the date on which the dividend is paid. One is a declaration date, the other is a record date, and yet another one is the payment date, where the money is distributed to the shareholders. There are different kinds of dividend policies. The best policy followed by various companies is dependent on the nature of the business and the amount of cash flow that the companies are generating. We have zeroed the policies down to 3 policies. 1. Stable dividend policy. 2. Constant dividend policy. 3. Residual dividend policy. Now, let us understand these policies. We have taken 3 scenarios to explain the policies to you. The scenario in year 1 is that we are making earnings of around $10,000 in the first year, $15,000 in the second year, and $8,000 in the third year. CapEx is the money that is required to make investments in various fields. In the case of fixed assets, we do not have to borrow money owing to the assumption that we will fund all these assets through our earnings. The CapEx is $7,500 in the first year, $7,300 in the second year, and around $6,800 in the third year. Let us understand what stable dividend is. Stable dividend means that the company pays the same amount based on the dividend every year, regardless of how much it earns. Hence, the important word here is same amount. If the company agrees to pay $2 in the first year, $2 in the second year, and $2 in the third year, the amount remains the same in all 3 years. This is called stable dividend policy. In constant dividend policy, a portion or percentage of the earnings is declared as the dividend. Now, let us assume that a company declares to make a payout of 25%. It implies that the company will pay a dividend of around 2.5 in the first year, which is 25% of the earnings. What is earning? Earning is very simple. Let us say that the company has 1,000 shares. The earning in the first year is around $10, which is 10,000 divided by 1,000, which gives 10. Hence, 25%, which is the payout, has become 2.5. In this case, the earning is around 15, and the payout is 25% of 15, which is $3.75. In the third case, the earning is only $8 and 25%. Of this is $2. This is why we get $2. I hope you understood why dividend is changing. It is changing because the earnings are changing, thereby resulting in a change in dividend. Finally, we have the residual dividend policy. Basically, dividends are paid after the company has deducted its requirements. The company may decide to first utilise the money that it has for its internal requirements, such as expansion, capex, or maintenance. Once its internal requirements have been met, only then will it distribute the remaining cash, if any, to the investors. What is the first case? In the first case, the earning is around 10,000 and the capex is around 7,500. Therefore, the balance is 2,500, divided by 1,000 to obtain the residual amount of 2.5 per share, which can be added to dividend out. Basically, it is 100% of dividend. In the second case, 15,000 minus 7,300 give around 7,700. This gives a dividend of around $7.70. In the third case, the rest is only 1,200. The balance is 1,200 and we have 1,000 shares, which results in the balance money remaining in the business for around $1.2. This is what I'm declaring as a dividend. These are the different policies of dividends in the industry. The company declares dividend based on the internal requirements and other factors, which we are going to learn in the next video. Friends, I hope you've enjoyed this session. In case you have any questions, queries or doubts, feel free to send us an email or connect with us. Thank you friends, and have a nice day.